Hey, what's going on everybody? Boost Auto here. Today we have got our JKU 4-door Jeep Wrangler that we're going to be installing our Lumastep M2 power running boards on. Let's get started. Introducing Lumastep M2, the successor to Boost Auto's Lumastep M1, the one-of-a-kind light-up running boards that took the industry by storm. Lumastep M2 features the same lighting technology with all the lighting functions you know, but with the upgrades we know you'll love. Experience the comfort of our premium auto-retract and auto-deploy technology featuring heavy-duty front motors on both sides that put out double the torque as some of the other stuff out there. A couple things to note before we get into the install. The procedure outlined in this video is for 2007 to 2018 4-door Jeep Wranglers. If your vehicle is a different year range, head on over to boostauto.com for the latest in fitment and availability, and to purchase all we have to offer. Let's get into it. For this video, we are going to be using a lift for ease of filming, but this install can just as easily be done on the ground. Now that we've got our vehicle up in the air, we can talk about our bracket mounting locations. So we'll start with the front. We're going to mount our front bracket right here. And our rear bracket will be right here, right where we're going to start with the hardware. So with this vehicle, we're going to have two different bracket mounting scenarios. The first one we'll talk about is if you do have a threaded hole already on your body, you'll just take your washer plate with your lock washer and your 13mm bolt and hand tighten it for now. Do not screw it all the way in. If you don't have a threaded hole on the body, and you'll have these square holes kind of like you see right here, you're going to start with your nut plate, inserting it through one side where one square is. Then you will take your 13mm bolts, the lock washer and the flat washer, and hand thread them into your nut plates. Next, we are going to install our passenger front bracket for our power steps. To mount this bracket, we're going to be using the 13mm hardware and square washer plate. You're going to slide it into this notched location right here. Now go ahead and take your bracket with the motor facing the rear of the vehicle and slide it onto the hardware, making sure the bracket is in between the washer plate and the vehicle's frame. Now we're going to take our 10mm bolts, nuts, and flat washers, and you're just going to hand tighten these in our pinch weld locations. Now, at the rear mounting location, you will already have two pre-drilled holes. We'll be using the pre-drilled hole closest to the front of the vehicle for this procedure. We'll also add a third hole, which we'll show you how to do next. To get proper alignment, we need to create a template of the mounting bracket. You're going to need a piece of paper the size of the bracket with a factory cut edge. Line up the edge of the paper with the straight edge of the bracket. Now take a pen and trace out the mounting holes of the bracket onto the paper. Then line up the factory edge of the paper with the bottom edge of the pinch weld using some tape to hold it in place. Now take a center punch and mark where you want to drill. We are going to be drilling out a 1/4 inch mounting hole, but first you need to drill a 1/8 inch pilot hole. Now we're going to finish off with our 1/4 inch drill bit. As a precaution, we recommend using touch-up paint or a paint pen on the hole you just drilled for added protection. Just like the front bracket, the rear bracket has two possible mounting scenarios as well. Depending on your vehicle, you'll be using either a threaded hole in the frame, or you'll have these rectangular holes where we will use a nut plate and hardware. Now that we've got our hole drilled for our rear bracket location, we're going to mount our rear bracket, starting with the threaded hole that goes to the cab. Now we're going to insert our 10mm bolts and flat washers into our pinch weld mounting locations. So we've got our brackets installed with our hardware hand tightened. You're going to leave it that way for now because when we go to install our running board, it's going to help us with a smoother installation, and we're going to tighten them down at that point in time. But go ahead and do the same thing to the driver's side at this point in time. Now we're going to start the procedure of routing all of our harnesses down to our boards. The first step we're going to want to take is disconnecting the negative battery terminal. All right, now let's take a second before we start routing the harnesses and just do a general overview on the harnesses here. So this over here with our main large connector, this is our power step harness. It's to deploy and retract the power running boards. And then these two harnesses here are the main harnesses for our lighting technology on the Lumastep running boards. Plus we have our rock light harness over here with the switch on it as well. Now you might get some of these harnesses, but you might not get all of them. If you optioned for Lumastep but didn't option for rock light, you'll have the power step harness plus these two. And if you option for rock light as well, you'll have the last harness down here. So depending on what you option for will determine how many harnesses you need to route down to your motors. But what we need to do before we route this is use a straightened out piece of metal, and we're going to come from the bottom of the vehicle and route it up through where the battery is going to be in the engine bay. So now that we've got our straightened out piece of wire snuck through the fender well, what you're going to do is take your harness and some tape and tape the harness to the straightened out piece of metal. Now if you look at the harness itself, it does say passenger side motor on there, and that will allow for you to know which side to route which harness down. If you've optioned for our illuminated M2 running boards, you'll also get a lighting harness in your kit. The side with the two black connectors will route down to the board. Go ahead and tape the harnesses to the straightened out metal piece and continue to route them down under the vehicle. Then untape the harnesses from the straightened out metal piece. If you've optioned for the rock light, you're going to get this harness that we're also going to use right now. It's got a switch that you'll end up routing into your cab, but we're gonna need this as we route our Lumastep harness towards our park/turn signal connector. Your harness will have this power terminal, along with two white wires that will go to your headlight and the rocker switch. We can now route the Lumastep harness and the white wire from the rock light harness down toward the turn signal. All right, now that we've got those harnesses routed down the passenger side, we're going to route the harnesses across the engine bay over to the driver's side. Make sure you're looking out for heated components or moving components so we don't destroy our harnesses. But before we do that, I'm going to connect our Lumastep harness for the driver's side to our passenger side Lumastep harness. All right, now that we've got our driver's side harness located over here, we're going to route the harnesses down to the driver's side brackets in the same way that you did on the passenger side. Now that we've got our harnesses routed where they need to go, we are going to start to route towards our park/turn signal connector on the front of the vehicle. To locate the turn signal connector, you may have to peel back the fender liner to expose it. We're working on a modified vehicle, so the connector is already visible. What you're going to need is this hardwire adapter that I've got in my hands here. The red and yellow wire with a quick disconnect is going to be for the turn signal. Turn signal comes standard on all running boards. The blue wire with the quick disconnect is for enabling running light if you option for it. If you did not option for running light, this will not be active. The white wire on the connector is for rock light if you option for it. If you did not option for these features, these won't be active, so be sure to tape the buck connectors out of the way. To unplug the turn signal connector, pull back on the red locking tab, then push down on the connector tab to release it. We're going to be tapping to the wires in pin 1 and 2. With the connector tab facing up, pin 1 is at the top and pin 2 is in the middle. Now go ahead and add a red T-tap from your kit to the wire in pin 1. Then do the same for the wire in pin 2. Now we're going to take the connector from the Luma harness and connect it to our hardwire adapter connector. Take the red and yellow wire on the hardwire adapter with the spade terminal and plug it into the T-tap on pin 1. Then the blue wire with the spade terminal into the T-tap on pin 2. Now plug your turn signal connector back in and push the red locking tab back into place. Now repeat all the same steps on the driver's side. If you did not option for the rock light harness, you can skip the next section. The rock light function overrides any existing function when activated, and outputs a solid white light. This will remain on until you switch it off and cannot be overridden by other functions like turn signal or running light. If you did option for our rock light harness, follow these next steps. On the passenger side, continue installing one of the long white wires at the turn signal connector. Attach it to the white wire on the hard wire harness via the attached butt connector. Then, use a heat gun to shrink down the butt connector. Before routing the harness into the cab, remember to disconnect the toggle switch. Now, tape the red and white wires to a straightened out metal piece and feed them through the firewall pass-through and into the cab. Once the wires are routed into the cab, we can find a suitable place to drill the hole and mount the switch. Then route the 2 wires up through the hole and connect the red wire to pin 2 and the white wire to pin 1. Then push the switch into place. Before we get started tapping for the control unit harness, let's go over a different style of T-tap in your kit. This top part of the tap is where you'll tap to the wires on the vehicle. Position the wire between the white and black tabs and squeeze until they click. Use an electrical multi-tool if you need help. The bottom part is where you'll insert the end of the wire from your harness. Again, press down on the T-tap until it clicks.
So the wires that we're going to be tapping into are these twisted pairs here. I've got one kind of snuck out of the way. You're going to be tapping a white wire with a blue tracer along with a white wire with a black tracer. Be careful because you can see this one with the yellow tracer right here. You are not tapping that one.
There are 2 pairs of the white and black and white and blue wires. You can tap to either pair. Take a T-tap from your kit and install it on the white and blue wire. Take another T-tap from your kit and install it on the white and black wire we showed you. From the signal input side of the control unit harness, you have 2 wires, one yellow and red wire labeled low, and a white and red wire labeled high. These are the 2 wires we are going to be connecting.
First, we're going to take our yellow wire with the red tracer and connect it to our white wire with our blue tracer, also known as the low line. Now we're going to take our white wire with a red tracer and connect it to the white wire with the black tracer, also known as the high line or high circuits. Now we need to connect our terminals to the battery. Before we do that, we're going to plug this ECU into our main harness right here. You can put the ECU right beside the battery. Using a 10mm socket, we are going to connect the positive side of our ring terminals.
Take the wire labeled battery positive from the control unit harness, the red wire from the lighting harness, if you optioned for it, and lastly the power wire from the rock light harness, if you optioned for it, and connect the ring terminals to the positive side of the battery.
Next, we'll reconnect the negative battery terminal. Now we're going to have to remove this nut in the back of the negative terminal in order to install our negative side ring terminals.
Take the wire labeled battery negative from the control unit harness and the black wire from the lighting harness and connect the ring terminals to the negative side.
All right, so our next step is going to be the actual installation of the board itself.
To install the carriage bolts, slide them into the slotted track at the back of the board or the end with the Lumastep logo. You're going to need 4 bolts per board. To mount your boards, we'll have to deploy the brackets. We're going to plug in the control unit harness into the large gray connector on the motor, but first we need to add some dielectric grease. Go ahead and connect your lighting harness to the harness extension on the bracket at this time as well.
Before you go to install your boards, we need to deploy the bracket in order for the board to be installed correctly. To do that, just keep this door open. Another option is to keep your foot on the bracket after you close your door to keep the bracket deployed.
Before you mount your running boards, take the 2 spacer plates from your kit and place them on the front and rear brackets. Place your board centered with the cab of the vehicle, staying clear of the front and rear tires or any other moving components.
Now you're going to hand tighten the nuts that came with the spacer kit. Once that's done, we will fasten all of the hardware associated with the bracket and the running board.
While the hardware is still loose, align your boards by sliding them back and forth until they're in your desired position. Now we can lock our boards in place. To do this, you're going to want to bounce back and forth between the front and rear brackets until all the hardware is snug and the boards don't move. Once the boards are tightened down, you can go ahead and tighten all the hardware on the brackets themselves. If you optioned for our Lumastep M2 power steps, you're going to have your lighting connectors as well. The 2-pin will plug into the 2-pin from the bracket and the 4-pin to the 4-pin connector. As an added precaution, we recommend using dielectric grease on all the connectors to prevent any water intrusion. If you optioned for the Puddle light functionality, you'll get 2 of these harnesses in your kit. The harness itself is a quick and easy install. On one side you have 2 gray connectors that will plug in line with the gray connector on the motor. On the other end you have 2 black connectors that will intercept the connectors on the lighting harness. To install, plug the 2 gray connectors on the harness into the gray connector on the control harness and the gray connector on the motor. Next, locate the 4-pin connector on the lighting extension harness. Now take the corresponding connectors on the Puddle light harness and plug them into the extension harness. Now repeat all the same steps on the driver's side. If there's slack in the lighting harness after plugging it into the boards, you can loosen this screw on the motor bracket, which allows you to pull the harness back. Once the slack is pulled back, tighten the screw. Now take the lighting harness and tuck it into the track on the bottom of the board. Then, using the plastic wire guides included in your kit, lock the harness into place by pressing them into the track. Now repeat all the same steps on the driver's side. Here's a quick overview of the cleaning procedure for your new running boards. On either side of the vehicle, simply open the door and allow the boards to deploy. With the board deployed, step on the board and close the door. After a few seconds, the board will try to retract. Thanks to our pinch sensing technology, the board will stay deployed for ease of cleaning. Simply take your foot off the board and proceed to clean. If you optioned your boards with step pads, we highly recommend our step pad cleaning solution to prolong the longevity of your step pads. Once finished, you can open and close your door to retract your running board.
All right, everybody, that about wraps it up for our M2 Power Step installation on our 2007 to 2018 Jeep Wrangler. If you like our Power Steps, check out our illuminated side mirrors that you can find at boostauto.com. Thanks again for stopping by. See you next time.
The products shown in this video and so much more can be purchased on our website at boostauto.com. We're proud to offer a wide variety of products, parts, and accessories for your truck or SUV that will take your build to the next level. To watch videos like this one and to find out about our newest innovative products for your vehicle, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's all for now. We'll catch you on the next one.